Cause it's the life to live, baby. Nah, don't let it walk on by. Oh. So what you gonna do? It's Rhymefest Revolution, call it Vietnam. Logging in to what'sinmyheadphones.com. You know how it is, baby. Dropping freestyles, new music, Chicago, all of that. What's in your headphones.com. Well, I chose the album title El Che because number one, Che is my real name. I was named after the Argentinian Cuban revolutionary Che Guevara. Right. And I just felt like it's time for me as an artist to start moving into the realm of fusing me as an artist with me as a person. And so Che is the beginning of you seeing who Rhymefest really is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not even so much nostalgic revolution like guns and taking over the government type stuff, but just who is this person and how my thoughts are revolutionary because they differ from any other rappers.
Right.
Well, this project has been in the works for a long time, like a few years, and basically the goals kept changing and switching. At first it was like, man, every song was like, man, this is revolution, a new era, you know, freedom fighting, most governments call terror, I live by the gun, you march and write letters, born in Argentina, Ernesto Guevara. Like it was like real like that, like a lot of the songs. But then as time started going over, like I was like, wait a minute, I'm doing what is expected to do for that. Right. Which ain't revolutionary, it's status quo.
Right.
You're like, oh, you're supposed to be hip hop. You're supposed to be militant. Like, so now it eventually evolved into, man, I want to make music that defines a human being. Sometimes you hypocritical, sometimes you contradict yourself, sometimes you feel love, sometimes you're vulnerable, sometimes you want to fight. You know what I mean? And so the album now has all of that in it. Like this album is a human emotion. It's all human emotions, and in that vulnerability, I think is true heroism. And this is not just Rhymefest or Che. I think in any album, when you make a complete album, your album should never end the same way it begun. Right. It should never end. You should never wrap up an album with the same idea you had when you started it. That means that you didn't do nothing. You didn't evolve. You just had songs, play song here. You know what I mean? That just means you was like, man, this is gonna be my radio joint. This is gonna be the joint for the clubs. This is gonna be the joint right here for real niggas and sing. You know what I mean? Like right. That ain't music. You know what I mean? That's just you trying to be hot.
Right.
And I feel like hotness always cools off, but dope lasts forever. So I wanted to make this album dope, and that's what I feel like we've accomplished. I think that's what music has always been, you know what I'm saying? But it's never been that so much from the standpoint of the artist as it is today. It was always that from the standpoint of a record label. Like, I'm sure Berry Gordy was like, yo, we need something hot for the streets. Like, we need, you know, like, that's what the label would say. But Marvin Gaye would be like, man, people just got here, mercy, mercy me. Things ain't what they used to be. Oh no, like, you know, like, and that may not have been hot to Berry Gordy. He might have been like, man, I need another distant lover. I need sexual healing, bro. What is you doing? But he didn't realize Marvin is an artist. You know what I mean? And the artist has the temperature of the room, you know what I mean? Even if you don't see it. And so I think that, but today, I think when we talk about it, has anything been lost, artists are trying to think like CEOs instead of thinking like artists. Let the record label try to make you hot, but you try to make art. And when you blend that together, you get dope. Everybody wants to make as much money as possible. A corporation is not a human being. It is a machine whose intent, or what's intent, is to make money. A record label is a machine. It is not a human. You know what I'm saying? it's not a human, it's a machine.
Yeah.
And so, but I am an artist, I am a human being. And so I can't be ran by a machine.
Right.
I run the machine. And so what I have to do is, I have to do my best to change the machine from where I stand.
Definitely.
Different things happen different ways. Like, that's like asking somebody who wrote the Bible, like, so when God inspired you to write Psalms, like, how did you do it?
Right.
Like, there's no answer for a question like that. It's like, you know, when the inspiration hits you, things are written however they're written. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you go to the studio and it's there. When you hear the beat, I believe every track tells a story. So that what an artist is trying to do is find a story within the music that is produced, and or a writer is trying to do. You're trying to find that story within the music, and you're trying to put it into words, articulate it.
Yeah.
And so that happens different ways.